and this is my channel, How to Train Your Caterpillar, which is a spiritual life coaching channel. So this video is going to be a little quick one about the throat chakra, which I'm doing completely out of order. I should have done the root chakra one first, but you know, I'm wearing blue, so I thought, hey, root chakra, throat chakra even. So that's what this video is going to be about. Thanks for checking out the video. You know, if you like it and you find it useful and you feel like liking and subscribing for me, I'd really appreciate that. So if you've watched my other, if you don't know anything about the chakras, maybe I have an introduction to the chakras that you might want to watch first, because that's going to explain a lot of, you know, the other stuff that you need to know. So I'm just going to go straight into this one. The throat chakra is the 5th chakra. Obviously it's around about the throat area. The color of the chakra is blue. And this chakra is all about communication. So the chakras can be either, they can be in balance, they can be too open, or they can be too closed. If your throat chakra is too open, you might find that you're kind of talking over people. You might find that you talk too much, you have no filter, you're just kind of blah 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 all the time. It's almost like a little aggressive, you know, like you're not really listening to what other people are saying, you're just kind of talking over them. Which is not so much of a problem, because you can kind of you know, you can learn to kind of reel that back in, right? But the thing is, if your throat chakra is closed, if you have a lot of problems with it being closed, because this is one that I struggle with, I think it's the one that I struggle with the most. If it's closed, you're gonna find that you're really shy, basically. Sometimes if you're talking to someone that you find quite intimidating, it can even get to the point where you literally are, you're not able to make a sound, like you're not able to say anything, you're not able to stand up for yourself. You know, you're literally just mute. It's like you're lost for words. It's also another weird one that I have noticed is you can be talking to someone and you're kind of listening to them talk. You know, it's this whole thing where you're just listening to them talk, and then they take a breath and they kind of look at you for like, oh, what's your response? And then you say something and it's like they've not even heard you. You know what I mean? You could have said anything and they'd be like, it's like you said something completely different. That's often a sign that the throat chakra is blocked. Is like if you're speaking to someone and basically they're just not hearing you. You know, it's the reason behind it is because like you're saying words, but you're kind of just saying what they want to hear, right? Because you're just listening to someone talk, and then they've basically taken a breath so you can say yeah, like so you can validate what they're saying. That's all they care about, right? So that's pretty much, you know, you're just saying words, but there's no power behind them, so they're just interpreting it as like whatever they want, you know. Also so being shy, kind of being lost for words, feeling like people don't listen to you, and also facial blushing. Like if you're quite prone, because I am, if you're quite prone to blushing all the time, like when you're speaking to basically everyone, when you're speaking to people and you find that you blush a lot, that's usually a sign of a blocked throat chakra. Also, just a quick by the by, if that's something that you suffer from, you'll also do well to work on your root chakra. I would say root chakra and throat chakra, also solar plexus, but really root chakra, because it's about fear. You know, it's about fear. So the combination of the root chakra and the throat chakra might help you if you're very prone to blushing. Other signs that there's an imbalance in your throat chakra is you might have like TMJ, you might have jaw problems, you might have teeth problems, you might, like I said, you might blush a lot. Any kind of issue with like the jaw and the mouth area is probably a blocked throat chakra. Sorry if you can hear a lot of banging, like there's DIY guys outside, I don't know, they're making so much noise. Yeah, now I'm going to give you some ways to unblock the throat chakra, but the thing is, really, what if it's something that is like, if you're doing these exercises to block it, unblock it every day, and it keeps getting blocked, there's a deeper issue that you really need to address. Because the reason that the throat chakra ends up getting blocked is because at some point in your life someone has told you, or someone has made you feel that you don't matter, basically. Like what you have to say, your opinions, your needs, they don't matter. So somewhere along the line someone has told you that, or they've made you feel that. So it doesn't have to start with your parents, but often it does. It starts with your parents or a caregiver or siblings. It can also be that you got bullied in childhood, or you got bullied in high school, right? Because if you get bullied, you know, even in high school, basically there's been some kind of issue where you have learned that if you speak up for yourself and if you express what you're thinking, there's going to be a consequence, you know? So for example, you might have had like a narcissistic parent, or you might have had a parent who was like a bit emotionally unstable or something like this. So when you did try to express your needs, or express your opinions or what you were thinking, that was kind of a no-no. You know, it would cause like chaos. It would cause a backlash. There would be a consequence. So you learned at some point not to do that, right? To survive. It could also be like siblings. You might have like very you know, some siblings with like a big personality or something. So every time you said something, they were like, no, that's not, no, you're an idiot, that's not true. Or it could be, you know, like I said, bullying, you know, where it's like when you started to say what was on your mind and like express yourself, you know, the real you, people would make fun of you, right? So you learn not to do that. Or maybe you've been in a friendship or a relationship where you were with someone. It could be that you were with a narcissist, or you were with someone with a very strong personality who just shouted you down all the time, you know, who made you feel like the things that you had to say and your opinions and what you wanted didn't matter. Only what they want matters. Like for example, it could be something very small, you know, but these things are not small because it's the little things that make up life, right? So if you allow these small things to happen all the time, eventually it turns into a huge problem. You know, but maybe you have a friend and, you know, say you're talking about where you want to go for dinner, right? And, you know, you really want to go to this, you know, Italian place that you've not tried yet, and, you know, you never go here, and you always go to the place that the person wants to go, and you know, you suggest it, and you're like, oh, quite excited about this Italian place, and this other person's like, no, I don't like Italian. I heard that place is not very good, like Italian food is not very good, blah 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 blah. I think we should go to this other place, like this bistro, nah, 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 nah. And it just comes to the point where you're like, you know what, fine, I'm just gonna, you know, accept what you want, because I know if I try to stand up for myself here and, you know, say that we should go to this place, it's just going to be a big fight, and like you're going to insult me, and, you know, it's just going to go on and on and on. And even if we do go to the restaurant, you're just going to sit there and be an a-hole. So let's just do what you want, right? Oh, someone's okay. I thought there was someone coming to look in my window with a ladder there, but they've gone past me, so that's good. I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to stop doing the video for a minute. So that's basically, you know, the situation. Is basically when someone has told you again and again, like, just basically stop talking. Just agree with what I want. Just do what I want. Agree with me all the time. Just basically be a statue who's there to serve my needs, you know, and as long as you're going, yes, master, the situation is fine, right? But to be honest, it usually does start, like, this type of blockage usually starts in childhood. If it's something that you really have a problem with on a day-to-day basis, you know, and you keep trying to unblock it and it keeps getting blocked, it's usually some kind of childhood issue, like bullying or like a parent or something that you need to kind of figure out. And eventually it will unblock, you know, the more that you realize that you're in a safe space to say what you want and express yourself, the more it will unblock. But obviously you have to get to a point where you're in that safe space. Like if you're still in a friendship or a relationship or some kind of family member that makes you feel like you can't express yourself, you need to get them gone, because it's never going to unblock otherwise. And you know, that person, or you need to at least address it with the person, you know, because they may tell you that they love you, but that's not love. You know, trying to shout someone down all the time and basically tell them that they don't matter and what they have to say doesn't matter, that's not love. So if you're in some kind of situation like that, you need to address it basically before, you know, because if you never feel safe to express yourself, then it's never going to unblock. The throat chakra is the seat of like communication and self-expression and creativity as well, you know, like because the sacral chakra and the throat chakra are both the seats of creativity and self-expression, because you know, when you're creating art or you're creating something, you're creating it from your soul. You're creating it from the things that make you you. You know, you're creating it from a space of the things that you enjoy and the things that matter to you. So if you're constantly feeling like the things that you enjoy and the things that matter to you don't matter, then that creativity is never going to come out. It's never going to be allowed to be expressed, which is why it's so important to evaluate these toxic relationships in your life and get them gone if needs be. Which might sound harsh, but you know, again, because I know sometimes you're just with someone that maybe talks a lot or they get a little excited, and that's a different thing. That's something different. I'm talking about someone who consistently tells you basically, you know, who makes you feel like a bad person for expressing yourself, or they make you feel insignificant all the time. That's not love. So that's something to be maybe mindful of if you feel like a lot of this stuff is hitting home. Yeah, so the ways to unblock the throat chakra, like I said, if it's, you know, because maybe this is just a little bit of surface stuff for you and it doesn't go that deep, you know, and it's just something that can be easily fixed. But the thing is, the more that you try and unblock it as well, the more spirit will actually direct you to the root cause, is what I have found. Because like I've said, this is something that I've had to work on a lot. I still have to work on it. I actually have a throat chakra opening meditation on beside me at the moment to help me with this. So that's the first thing that I always use sound healing, because the chakras, they resonate at different frequencies, so there's a different frequency for each sound. I'm going to leave the ones that I use in the description box. I'm not affiliated with the other channel, it's just the ones that I like to use because I think they're very reputable, and I think, excuse me, they're really helpful. So I'll leave the ones that I use in the description box. There's like a sleeping one that I use, there's like a sort of quicker daily one. What I would say is, with all chakra work, if this is something you've never done before, don't try and use these meditations when you're at work or when you're out in public or anything like that, because it can bring up a lot of stuff. So you know, maybe for the first time, use it when you're you don't have anything to do and there's no one around, this kind of thing. You know, sometimes if you use it at night, I find it works a lot better for me if I use it at night time, because I feel like I have a very stubborn brain that, you know, I just feel like it's better if I can get into the subconscious at night time, so I often use them at night time. You can chant as well. The chant for the throat chakra is HAM, H-A-M. You can, you know, I'm not going to chant it because I feel silly, but you know, you can Google it on YouTube, or you know, on a different, you can just Google it to find out how it sounds. You can wear blue. You can use blue crystals, like any kind of blue crystal, but the one that I like to use, I actually usually have a necklace on, but I don't have it on at the moment, is a lapis lazuli. Is a nice blue stone, particularly for Geminis as well, but for anyone, you know, like a lapis lazuli crystal to help open the throat chakra. You can eat blueberries and you can drink peppermint tea, will all help open this chakra. Also, you know, a weird thing that I think I've found recently is sleep apnea is another sign that you have a blocked throat chakra, but you might find that you sleep on your stomach is something that I've discovered recently. Like if you sleep on your stomach, it could be a sign that your throat chakra is blocked. And also maybe your solar plexus is blocked, because sleeping on your stomach is kind of a sign that you're trying to protect yourself from something. Something that I realized recently that I thought was quite interesting. But yeah, I talk about, if you want to know how to check, you know, which of your chakras is blocked, you should go check out my other video, the introduction to the chakras, because there's a technique that I tell you in that video, but I don't want to say it here because I've already said it in the other video. I don't want to repeat myself, so I'm going to keep this video short. I'm going to end it there. I hope this was useful. You know, many thanks for watching. If you found it useful and you enjoyed it, don't forget to like and subscribe for me, and many blessings, love and light.